What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle video. My name is DFree. Here today, we're talking about the likelihood of, you guessed it, an LR full Power Frieza coming into the game during part 2 of the celebration. Hope you guys enjoy. Hit the subscribe if you are new. Now, full Power Frieza, like I said, if he does come out, will be in part 2. Part 2 is set to be held starting on the 13th. So keep that in mind. Now, we do have all of the current events in the game for the most part, the new ones and stuff, kind of expiring on about the 18th. So the new story event, the EZA, whatever the case is, the Dokkan Festival, the category banner, they all basically expire around then. I do want to point out that the login bonus, the missions as well, all of that stuff, coupled with the Dokkan event for Goku, all of that stuff actually gets extended until the 1st of July. Now, obviously, like I said, that is because we are moving into a Part 2 territory. It says right here, second campaign from 6/13, so it's definitely happening. Now, the thing about this that's kind of interesting is I noticed that in this batch of information that came out, obviously, a week ago or whatever, about a week ago, we did get a number of different full power arts in the game. Now, there's this one, there's a couple more. Obviously, they're bosses or whatever, but that obviously doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean much of anything. For example, we have this Goku right here who's had an image in the game and a boss card in the game for years now, it seems. And he is not an acquirable card. And there's a number of cards like that. For example, speaking of EZAs, because there's a couple here, that full power Jiren. When is that coming out? So example, there's a lot of stuff like that that we just simply do not have access to. So it doesn't mean a whole lot, right? So what I want to just kind of point out, though, is the likelihood of that happening. So if you go back to other campaigns that we've had in the game up to a point, you'll notice that a lot of times, basically, honestly, since about categories have come out, a little bit before that, but since categories have basically come out, they've done this thing where, in a lot of scenarios, not everyone, where they go ahead and drop a category leader specifically and then follow up in a part 2 or right after with an LR that does fit into the category and or would be a character that would be from that time period in the show or just have some relevance to what we just got, right? So, for example, if they dropped LR Cell, right? Right after the Android category comes out. And there are a few other examples of that as well. Obviously, we do go ahead and get the GT stuff in the anniversary. Then they follow up with 2 GT LRs. They don't specifically fit into those categories, but again, thematically, they're all from GT, so it makes sense. So this is something that they do. So I would say that it's been too long since we've had a new LR. I know Kale and Caulifla are relatively new, right? But it's been too long in this game's sense without an LR. So I do think that the likelihood of an LR just in general coming in part 2 is sky high. I think that is almost definitely going to happen. And then again, the question simply becomes, what would that LR even be? Now, again, I think full power Frieza is the best candidate, the biggest candidate, because of the Rage Goku coming up. If it was anything else that we got a Dokkan Fest for, I don't know if it will be full power Frieza. But I do think that Goku being the unit that we got a Dokkan Fest for makes it very likely, and simply because of the fact that Goku does fight that Frieza towards the end of their fight, of course. And also, I want to point out we haven't had a full power Frieza card since the, 1 year, basically 1 year into the game. I believe that on JP it came out after the 1 year anniversary, but on Global it was before. Little things like that. If we go to the full power Friezas in the game, it's been a while. We don't have any. There's only one. Only one. So, yeah, if we go back to the release dates, March and June 2016. This is a character that I think warrants getting another card, right? Now, this card would be, right here, would be the biggest loser of us getting something like that, because he would immediately become almost unusable because of the fact that the LR is existing there for everybody that pulls the LR, that is. But again, that's what I think is going to happen. I think full power Frieza is the most likely character. Other characters of note, if they really wanted to just, because the category is Planet Namek Saga, that they would be buffing in that scenario, right? They could drop another Super Saiyan. From that time period, right? The only other one would be Future Trunks, which he doesn't need another Super Saiyan. They just don't, right? Because that's the tail end of anything related to Frieza before we get into fully entrenched in the Android saga. So we don't need another full power Trunks, or not full power Trunks, Super Trunks or Super Saiyan Trunks or just Future Trunks. We don't need it. So yeah, And other than that, if they wanted to buff the Planet Namek saga, I can't think of much. We already have the Ginyu Force. We already technically have Frieza, Dodoria, and Zarbon, which would be another candidate. We could get Gohan and Krillin, which is one thing I want to see from when they fought against Guldo. That would be cool, but that seems like it would be more of a free-to-play LR, which is totally on the table, by the way. A new free-to-play LR is totally on the table. But again, Part 2 would probably come with a banner, so that's why I'm sticking specifically to a summonable unit. There just aren't a whole lot of candidates that are worthy of actually getting an LR. Like, especially a summonable one, right? Because that's the thing. It has to be a character that's worthy of it, because you have to, if it's summonable, you have to bank on the sales, right? So it's just not going to be a Ginyu and Jace type deal, right? It's not going to be something like that. And before it is. So let's go ahead and talk about the LRs that are in the game. Again, most recent, unless I'm like crazy and I'm forgetting something, is Kale and Caulifla, right? So Kale and Caulifla came out in April. So yeah, it's been too long. It's been too long. If unless I'm like crazy. Okay, well, okay. So let me say this. Kale and Caulifla technically are the most recent LR on JP. Global's gotten 2. So that's what it is. I was going to say, it feels like the more stuff has come out since Kale and Caulifla. That's what it is. So, you know what? Let me actually throw that out there. There is a possibility JP actually picks up one of the new LRs that Global has first. If you're a Global player and you don't want JP to get stuff, I understand, but like, they're going to get these at some point. There's nothing we can do. Every time I do a video with those guys on JP, they get massively disliked. People don't like to see them on JP. But it's just going to happen. But again, if they are going to follow the same trend, I don't think those cards would fit well into Part 2. They'll come later. Probably, honestly, have their own campaign, Part 1, Part 2, just like Global's having. So, because this was actually a Dokkan Fest. Yeah, they're definitely going to come at their own time. Probably in a dry period or whatever. And Global might get another Global first. I don't know. So, yeah, if we follow the trend, though, again, Kale and Caulifla most recent, one thing they were doing is, for a while, they were doing regular LRs, and then they moved to the 90% monos, and then they move over to the 4-key and then 2-key respective monos, and then they actually did not finish that meta. This meta that Goten and Trunks are in, they didn't complete that, because in the middle of that, they actually moved into having category units in general, and they decided, oh, hey, we won't actually finish. We won't produce an Extreme Tech one, even though we have a Super Tech one. We won't produce an Extreme STR one. We'll just kind of produce some of them, right? They did produce one for Bardock. They produced LR Cell, Bojack. They come over here to Super Int. They didn't even finish Super Int. What they wound up doing, though, in the middle of that process was, oh, since we have category, we'll kind of combine the two. So we'll have category and we'll have a primary color, right? So, or primary typing. So I believe the first card that did that was Trunks and Mai. So Trunks and Mai, the trio, we have Baby, we have Kale and Caulifla, we have the ones on Global, all of that, right? But one thing is for sure, the one color that hasn't had an LR, the one typing in general, Too Much Legends, that hasn't had an LR in a while, in the longest time, is right here. This one right here. Extreme STR hasn't had an LR in the longest time. May 2017 was their last LR pull, or last LR introduction, right? If we look at this is 2018, right? This one came out last year as well, 2018. This year for Global. This one just came out. We just got this on JP this year. Every other typing has had an LR. So I think that if we get an LR, it is going to almost assuredly be an Extreme STR unit, simply because they haven't had an LR release since the 90% 3 keys. They completely didn't get a 4-key double lead like Trunks and Goten's card, 4-key, 2-key respective. You know, the SS3 Goku. So yeah, Extreme STR, full Power Frieza. Make it happen, Bandai. Again, completely conjecture. I have no evidence to back this up. So keep that in mind. I'm not confirming anything. So full Power Frieza is the current one in the game, right? So I would say this unit would have the exact same link. So Prodigies, Universe Most Malevolent, Nightmare, Strongest Clan in Space. And then you have these all, this is all 6 links, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, okay. You would have to drop something. It would probably be one of Nightmare or Prodigies, I would say, for Legendary Power, because you would need to do that. And all the other links this unit needs to have. Over in a Flash, check. Fierce Battle, check. Assuming that it uses medals from the Goku event, which I think it would, which is why I said that that event gets extended. Universe Most Malevolent, Strongest Clan needs to have. God forbid they get rid of big bad bosses. So, yeah. Prodigies is my #1 choice, I would say, because Nightmare seems more flexible. Anyways, so let's actually take a look at the teams that would be impacted by a new LR release. So we have Transformation Boost. Again, I'm going to just go based off of the categories this unit has. Transformation Boost does not necessarily need another LR. Transformation Boost is one of those categories that seems to pick up a new unit every single time there's a new unit, just because everybody gets a boost from transforming in the series, basically. Just about everybody, except for select characters like Krillin. So this category will forever get updated. So yeah, they don't necessarily need a new LR, but I mean, they would be impacted by it. The thing about that is this category has so many units that I don't know if they would even need another villain LR, right? But I would say a full Power Frieza would be actually pretty welcome, because Over in a Flash is actually a solid link on this category. You have like UI Goku, you have SSGSS, Gogeta here. You have a lot of stuff, man. So yeah, that wouldn't be too bad. We have Full Power, which is... Full Power is interesting because I've never really been a big fan of this category just because of the way it was handled. There's a lot of mishmash in this, and I understand why it is that way, but this category, up until Broly came out, I would say, was missing a lot of units that would tie in different types of link sets. So it's good Broly has like Shocking Speed and Prepare for Battle, stuff like that. And this category doesn't have a lot of support, but alas, it would pick up another unit that it doesn't necessarily need. But if you were to use Over in a Flash-based units, which there's not a whole lot of them, you have this new Goku Awakening, you have the SS3 AGL Goku, you do have the Transforming Goku, you have SSB Kaioken if you really want to use somebody that has the link, you have the Kaioken Gokus in general, but there's not a whole lot of that, right? You do have LR Goku here, but that's about it, you know? So it's kind of weird. So I wouldn't say that this category really even wants that card at all, to be honest. But again, it's not to say he'd be bad there. But really, the biggest benefactor of a change, and this is why I think 100% it would be a Planet Namek Saga LR just in general, even if it's not Full Power Frieza in general, because this category is bare bones, man. This category is so dry, you know? Why did you even bother putting the ends in? Is this a pull? Is this a pull? Yeah, it is. Why did you even bother? Yeah, but long story short, this category is so bare bones. In fact, aside from the SRs and below, most of this category's options are all free units. Like this Goku's are, well, actually, let's go to the TURs. Piccolo's free. Birder's free. 1 summonable between the 3 AGL units. 3 AGL units! 2 tech units! 2! You know what? If I look at this category, they don't necessarily need another Extreme STR unit. Just going to put that out there. There's 1 int TUR in this whole category. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this category is, for a summonable category, this category needs a lot of work. A lot of work. It's very good they've introduced all these free units that are good. Again, they have 3 Easy A free-to-play units, by the way. They really like this category for free units, apparently. And they have a whole category of free units between the Ginyu Force stuff. So yeah, that's what I would say, and that's basically it, guys. So let me know what you guys think. This category just... I didn't realize how bare bones it is. I knew it was bare bones, but like 1 int TUR, 2 int tech units. That's actually really funny. And by the way, all of their LRs are free units. This category screams LR to me. It screams summonable LR. Hopefully they also drop with like another couple of units, because this category needs a lot of work. This would be my best chance of getting a Krillin card. Krillin in armor. SSR. Dokkan Awaken TUR. Make him a super int unit. Do it! I'll catch all of you guys in the next one.